remains of a village in northern Syria, where rebels fought government troops over a strategic airbase. Opposition fighters say they captured Taftanaz helicopter base on Friday. Video obtained by Reuters appears to show the nearby village bearing scars of fierce fighting. Among the debris is an unexploded bomb. Nearby, loudspeakers are all that remains of a mosque. Rebels say the town endured relentless shelling by government warplanes and is now almost completely deserted. The battle for Taftanaz was fought for months before it tipped in favour of opposition fighters. It finally fell after rebels were reinforced earlier this month by Islamist units.
Turkey's Prime Minister may have shot himself in the foot. By openly supporting the Syrian opposition, the country's leader may have overlooked the effect Syria's political mayhem may have on Turkey, especially in the border areas largely populated by Kurds. Some observers believe any turmoil in the region between Ankara and Damascus will have a devastating effect on Erdogan's country.
He has got Turkey now involved virtually in a war. It's used as a base by the Syrian rebels, and now the Kurds are on the march, and this was perfectly predictable. But the dangers here are huge.
Erdogan's reasoning behind his support for the rebels could stem from lessons of the recent past.
Turkey wants to make sure that it has a stake within the Syrian opposition, because it made the same mistake in Iraq with the birth of Kurdistan region, which is good for the Kurds. But obviously Turkey now is using the policy of engagement, trying to engage with the problems in Syria.
But that could come at a dear cost for Ankara. Conflict between Turks and Kurds has been simmering for some 30 years, with thousands of victims on both sides. In fact, the last 18 months have seen 700 deaths from the confrontation between Turkish security forces and the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, recognized by some Western nations as a terrorist organization.
Some believe the 30 million strong Kurds are ready to rise at a moment's notice to at least gain some autonomy, if not reach their ultimate goal, the Kurdish state. The Syrian crisis may very well provide such an opportunity, and Ankara's increasing animosity towards both Kurds and Damascus, it may very well be Turkey that will end up being the biggest loser in this political game.
Kurdish representatives in the Turkish General Assembly firmly believe no matter the outcome of the conflict, the Kurds in Syria are set for some sort of autonomy and are eager to follow suit.
The Syrian Kurds soon will have their own status, political status, autonomy. For long years, we're also struggling for a democratic autonomy. We want our identity to be recognized, and we want democratic autonomy, regional autonomy. Then we should have our self-governance right.
But these desires seem to fall on deaf ears within the Turkish government, with Ankara's Kurdish conflict coming under increasing scrutiny from human rights organizations. Accusations of rape, torture, kidnappings, and use of chemical weapons against supposed Kurdish separatists have been backed up by independent European reports and investigations, and are a major stumbling block on Ankara's crusade for EU membership. The Turkish government, nevertheless, seems determined to avoid the issue altogether, instead turning its attention across the border into Syria. Irina Galushko, RT, Ankara.
family of internet freedom activist Aaron Swartz has blamed the US criminal system for his death. The 26-year-old co-founder of social news website Reddit hanged himself in his New York apartment on Friday. Let's get some more on the story now. We're joined live by a representative of the Pirate Group from the Berlin Parliament, Fabio Reinhardt, coming live on RT. A pleasure to see you today. Thanks for spending the time to join us. The Schwartz family has said in a statement that Aaron's death is not simply a personal tragedy, but the product of a criminal justice system rife with intimidation and prosecutorial overreach. What's your view on that?
Well, thank you for having me. I think it's very hard to judge, especially so shortly after this tragedy, what exactly was the motivation, how exactly did it come to his death. I wouldn't go into detail too much about it, but it seems to be sure that Aaron was a lot under pressure, and I think I'm pretty sure it's not the only case. You see, we have a very new group of internet activists of the political movement fighting for the freedom of the internet, and a lot of these people, some of them are very young, are very much into what they're doing. They think they're good, they're doing a good job, and sometimes the society doesn't give them back enough.
Well, certainly there are many out there that are trying to do a good job, perhaps, but also are feeling under a lot of pressure from the government. For example, the US Attorney's Office pursued a spread of charges, possibly leading to over 30 years in prison and $1 million fine. This ultimately for downloading and redistributing MIT academic papers. Do you think the punishment was justified?
No, I definitely don't think this punishment is justified. It is completely ridiculous. People are being charged with $50,000 fines for just downloading some music from the internet. Aaron Swartz was putting files on the internet that should have been on the internet a long time ago. And actually JSTOR, where the files came from, said they wanted to put the files on the internet anyway, and Aaron Swartz just did a perfectly good job doing it, and he actually took a lot of effort from them, which would have been their effort. So,
well, I mean, as you say, there certainly are some that are questioning the severity of, frankly, redistributing academic papers from MIT. But I must ask you, because institutions, in one way or another, do have the right to protect their own intellectual property. So, I mean, some would say that activists, in some way or another, have to accept the punishment they face. Or do you disagree?
Well, I think the system is broken in this case. Whenever it comes to internet freedom, whenever it comes to copyright infringement, then all the senators, all the people in the House of Representatives in the United States are on the same side. There's no differences. They're fighting on the same side as Hollywood does. They are actually fighting for Hollywood and making the laws for them. Sometimes it's really ridiculous what they're thinking, what would be a good law, because these people are making laws. They should always think what the laws actually have an effect on society. And sometimes the effect is just that completely innocent people have to pay a lot of fine or go into jail because they're making information public, or because they're just downloading some music. And
do you think at this point, though, and very quickly, I'm so sorry, I'm running very low on time, but do you think there are enough activists out there to carry on Mr. Schwartz's fight?
Sorry, can you repeat this?
Do you think there are enough activists out there now who can carry on Mr. Schwartz's fight?
Well, Mr. Schwartz is carrying a very heavy legacy that will be difficult to fill his footsteps. But there are a lot of people that fight for the same goals, that will try to go into what he was fighting for. And I think the political movement that is fighting for free internet is the strongest now, and will get stronger in the next months and years. And there is no risk that this very heavy loss for the internet community will bring a stop to the political movement that fights for free.
You know, with the suicide of Mr. Schwartz, it's certainly sending reverberations around the online community. Fabio Reinhardt, a representative in the Pirate Group of the Berlin Parliament, live from Berlin. Thank you very much.